YouTube, you know what day it is. It's Tuesday, and that means it's Tier List Tuesday. Let's go. Shotguns. Tier List Tuesday today, we're going over shotguns, guys. There's a lot of metas that have happened because of shotguns in Call of Duty Warzone, so we have a lot to talk about with these guys. It's going to be a current meta, the current state of the game, what shotguns are the best right now in Season 2. We're about, I think, 2.5 weeks away from Season 3 starting, which ideally will be a new map. It sounds like it's going to be Verdansk, going back in time, but I don't see any of these shotguns really getting changed anytime soon, and I'll explain why, and why some of them are actually really strong and being slept on. So, if you guys do like this video, make sure you guys do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below what your favorite shotgun is right now, or what shotgun you hate the most, or the meta of shotguns you hated the most, because we're going to talk about it all. Let's jump into it. All right, you guys, so starting off here first today, we have the Jak-12. The Jak-12 was the last shotgun added in Modern Warfare, and it reminds everyone of the AA-12 from Modern Warfare 2, which was extremely annoying to play against at times, but it wasn't ever broken. When this gun first came out, fire breath rounds were ridiculously broken on the R9. The R9 obviously was a little bit better because it had more range, but this thing was really slept on and was actually pretty good, especially if you're in a building with someone. It just has such a high fire rate that that constant pressure is really annoying. So honestly, right now in this day and age, I'd probably put it at top tier viable right now. It is a very underrated shotgun that no one really talks about, and it hasn't really been nerfed. Only the fire breath rounds have been nerfed, and honestly, you can probably still run those to this day and be decent, but if you just run the other rounds that come with it, they're really good still. Like, this thing does a lot of damage, and that fire rate, you guys, it doesn't get talked about enough with shotguns, is basically when you're getting shot constantly by a shotgun, your gun is like so hard to aim down sights. Like, that's why when the shotgun metas were a thing, like the R9 and whatnot, it was really hard to win those gunfights because basically you're sitting there with your SMG and the gun's like going all over the place. Like, it just isn't okay. So that's why it's going to go in top tier viable, guys. That high fire rate really does cause a distraction and really good kill time. The Origin 12. I'll probably put it at viable right now. The Origin 12 meta was one of my least favorites ever. It's right there next to the R9 meta, because when this thing was at its prime best, like, you could kill people across buildings. Like, it was ridiculous how much range it had for a fully automatic weapon. It's not fully automatic like the AA-12. Okay, I get it, or Jak-12. I get it, but you could literally click this button so fast that it was fully automatic and it had no recoil, and you literally were just destroying people. But for the time being, I would put it right there at viable, because realistically, it still will do the job if you're in a building with someone, but it doesn't do as much damage, and the range got nerfed tremendously. So the 725 is definitely trolling, because there is one build that is very viable. If you guys haven't seen the clips before, you can put a sniper scope and the slug on and literally snipe people across the map using this if you hit a headshot. It's an automatic one-shot kill if you hit a headshot with it. So you don't have to run the sniper scope with it, but it's kind of like a trolling gun. At the end of the day, are you going to use this to be consistent? No, because if you don't hit the headshot, you're not going to get the kill, but you can actually do it. It's kind of nuts on the clips that you can see on it. Like, I know Joe Woe got one like out of a helicopter the other day. It was kind of crazy. If you guys haven't seen that clip before, definitely go check it out. It's probably on his TikTok or Twitter or something like that. But it's just trolling at the end of the day. It doesn't have enough ammo to be viable. Like, 2 rounds, there's usually 4 people on the other team or 3 people. If you're playing duos, you literally have to hit back-to-back headshots. So do not recommend that unless you're really just trying to mess around. The Streetsweeper, the most recent add to Warzone. It's right there at the Jak-12 because it's like very much the same, but it has a little bit more range. So I'm going to actually put it at Warzone meta for the time being, just because I think this gun is super underrated. The fire rate's super annoying. Inside of buildings, like, it's almost impossible to beat for the most part. But the kill time isn't the fastest, honestly. If you don't hit like an upper threshold, like headshot high chest area, you're not going to kill people very fast. And the reason I put it at the Warzone meta is just because it has so much ammo. You can literally wipe an entire team with that 16 round drum, isn't it? Like 16 rounds, something crazy like that. And it might even be more than 16. Let me know in the comments, because I don't really use this gun. Because if you guys know me, I don't love shotguns, but if the meta turns to shotguns, I'll use shotguns. Because as someone that plays in the top 1% of lobbies, you got to do what you got to do, unfortunately. That's why I use the rose skin. For those people that hate on me using the rose skin, I only do it because it has advantages, and I need those advantages when I only play like 3 or 4 hours a day. Alrighty, the SA-12. This gun here, the Gallo, is a very, very, very good right now. This is the best shotgun in the game, 100%. You cannot automatic tactical sprint with this gun though. Like, you have to stop holding your W key or holding your controller forward when we're using it. That is the only downside of this. Other than that, like 2 or 3 bullets, automatic kill every single time in a building. Has crazy range, crazy kill time, and is honestly kind of broken right now. A lot of people aren't using it for some reason, but like, this gun is busted. If you play Rebirth Island consistently, guys, and you guys mess around with this gun, I've been messing around with it on there, and whew, it is stupid. The only downside of this gun is literally it takes 10 years to reload, because you have to do, it puts one at a time, and then there's 12 of them that if you use the 12 round mag, which most people will, because it takes so long to reload, it takes a long time to reload. And that's literally the only bad thing I can say about it, other than the automatic tac sprint, which is super weird. But really good gun right now, guys. I would 100% put this at the #1 gun in the game by far. Shotgun in the game, by the way, not just the best gun. It's the #1 shotgun. It might be the best short range weapon, to be honest, right now, but we're talking shotguns today. The R9, I would probably put top tier viable. Even after the nerf, if you pick up a ground loot one, it still does a lot of damage. Like, you can usually kill people in that 2 bursts, because you know how this gun shoots. It's like 2 bursts at a time, like 1 2 1 2. And honestly, you can usually get a lot of kills off just the ground loot ones with just 2 of them. And the only thing that really got nerfed at the end of the day was the incendiary rounds, the fire breath rounds. They were so busted. I do not miss that meta. That might have been my least favorite meta. When you guys talked about my Warzone meta tier list last week, you guys saw how angry I got when I talked about some of those. That was one of the metas that just pissed me off. It was ridiculous. But this gun's really slept on, guys. I think shotguns in general are slept on because you don't see pro players using them. Because pro players are so consistent with their shot that an SMG at the end of the day is going to give them more speed and more kills at the end of the day for them, because they can use it and you just get a lot more utility. You don't have those awkward fights where you're like, oh, I got a shotgun right now, but I also have like a gun that I don't want in this range. It's like that awkward short to medium range. R9, guys, really slept on, I would say, because it really does do great in building still, and it will always have that awkward like fire rate issue where it just does 2 at a time. So if you need that 3rd bullet, or you might actually end up dying, but I do think it is top tier viable when we're talking about shotguns specifically. The hauer 77, I'm going to put it at viable. Only reason I'm putting it at viable here, guys, is because it is the only shotgun that I know of. There might be another one. This one might actually do it. I'm not 100%, guys. I'm pretty sure it's the only shotgun that can 1 pump. Like, other than the 725 round that I was talking about earlier with the slug, the hauer 77, if you aim down sight and you get a headshot with it, like, you can just 1 pump someone. I know if you guys play Warzone consistently, that's probably happened to you and you're like, how did I die? It's because this gun is actually really strong in that 1 pump situation. You have to use your movement like crazy though, because the fire rate is terrible, especially in the meta that we're in right now. Like, you cannot use the hauer 77 in a loadout. Like, it's just not going to work, unfortunately. But you can make some really fun clips using slide cancels and whatnot around buildings and really have awesome plays. Like, I think the first person I saw really using it to like its advantage is Destroy. I watched him in like a 1v3 situation, just 1 pump 3 people at the beginning of a tournament off the ground loot rip. It's freaking awesome. Really fun gun though, guys. To be honest, like, there's no better feeling than this outplaying in a team and just 1 pumping people. So it's definitely viable, 100%. I just wouldn't put it in like my daily loadout. Ground loot, super good. The VLK, is that what it's called? The VLK Rogue? Oh man, I would probably put it at viable as well, honestly. Like, it's not viable. It was really slept on when the fire breath rounds were in the game because this was so broken, but this one also had them as well. And honestly, it was really good, and I probably would put it top tier viable if those were still in the game. But it has that awkward fire rate. It has kind of a lot of recoil. It's honestly not great. You have to unlock it too, which a lot of people, I wouldn't waste my time to unlock this gun. I don't even think I have it unlocked, to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you on that one. It's just not that great. At the end of the day, there was a couple people that tried to make it meta at one point. Fire breath rounds got nerfed. Not that good. But it does fall on the viable because realistically, if you hit 2 to 3 shots with it, it's kind of like the Origin. Like, you're going to end up killing them. So I'd probably put it at that. Actually, I'm going to put it at do not recommend. It's just not that good, guys. If you're comparing them to these other ones, I just wouldn't put it there. And then last but not least, guys, there really isn't that many shotguns in the game. we have the 680 here. The 680 is in the would not recommend as well because it's in that awkward rate where it's like, I think you might be able to one pump someone. I'm not 100% sure. Someone can let me know in the comments if you guys know those statistics. You might be able to, but like it has that awkward fire rate where it's one at a time, like the Hauer 77, where if you don't hit that one pump, or you don't hit like a headshot and then completely change the fight, you're probably going to lose the gunfight, unfortunately. Because if you hit like an awkward, like a lower body shot with it, you're probably going to take one plate off of them and then you're just dead. So really high skill cap, got to use your movement a ton. I would not recommend it. I think the Hauer 77 is just the better version of it right now. So that's going to be it today, guys. That is the ranking system. If you are going to be trying out a shotgun anytime soon, I would say the Gallo is definitely the best. And then if you want to unlock the Streetsweeper, I think it's really good as well. If you don't want to, and you already have these ones unlocked, these are definitely just as viable probably as the Streetsweeper. But the Streetsweeper, I would just say it has a little bit more range right now. So I would put it just slightly ahead. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy today's Tier List Tuesdays. Lots of big things coming to the channel going forward. If you guys haven't checked out the live streams before, make sure you guys check out the Twitch stream below where we like to play with you guys a little bit, get some wins, put some high... Basically, that's where I get all my content from. So if you guys want to see what I do on a daily basis, that it's not just like Rick only plays good one game a night. Kind of true some nights, but most of the time we're popping off and having a good time with the boys on the stream. So definitely follow the Twitch link. We stream here on YouTube as well. If you guys haven't before, turn on notifications so you know when I go live. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.